नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्. Om. Dear friends, we are in this episode where Karna enters. We saw yesterday that Drona arranged for a great demonstration because he had trained all these princes. And all these princes, they came and then they showed their skills. And the highlight was the fight between Bhima and Duryodhana. And that fight was stopped by Dronacharya because that fight was almost becoming very, very vicious. They tried to kill each other. So it was not a demo, but it was something like a personal fight to kill each other. So he pulled them apart and then Ashwatthama stopped it. And then thereafter, the climax was Arjuna demonstrated all the skills. And when Arjuna demonstrated, then suddenly there was a thunderous roar at the gate, and then this Karna entered. So I told about it yesterday. When Karna entered, Kunti, she instantly saw and then she recognized him, because as a child she had seen that natural armor, the shining gold armor, and then this gold earrings and all that. So she immediately recognized. And when he challenged Arjuna, and then when that bitter war of words was going on between Arjuna and Karna, she just fell unconscious. She just swooned and fell unconscious. And Vidura noticed it. Vidura is an intelligent man. He guessed. He noticed it, and he just sprinkled some water and on the face of this Kunti and then revived her. And then thereafter, then we saw that when Karna displayed all these things, all the same feats which Arjuna had done, then Duryodhana became very, very glad, and then he immediately hugged him, and then he immediately made him his friend. You just command me, this entire kingdom is yours. So something like that he said. And thereafter, when Karna challenged Arjuna for a fight, one-to-one fight, then the rules in those days, what are the rules of combat? A Kshatriya could fight only a Kshatriya, and no other man could fight a Kshatriya. So that was the order of the day. It was only a Kshatriya who could challenge a Kshatriya. Kshatriya means somebody who is of the royal class. So then that teacher is there, that Krupacharya is a teacher. He is an expert in the rules of all this game, all the rules of combat and all that. So he came and said, yes, Dvandva Yuddha Samachare Kushalaha. So he is the man who knows all the rules of this Dvandva Yuddha. Dvandva Yuddha means one-to-one fight. So he came and said, okay, now you are asking for a fight. So here stands Arjuna. He is the son of so-and-so, he belongs to this Kuru clan, and he is a mighty warrior. You tell me who you are, who is your father, what is your lineage. So then Karna was feeling ashamed. Karna could not say, because he was raised. He didn't know that he was the son of Kunti. And he was raised by that charioteer, a person who was a driver. Now we can use a modern word to use. A modern word is a driver of a chariot. So he could not say anything. And meanwhile, Duryodhana immediately comes and challenges. Duryodhana immediately says, oh my dear sir, Acharya, Trividha Yonihi Rajñam Shastra Vinishchaye. Oh my dear sir, there is no rule that Kshatriya cannot be challenged by anyone else. Satkulīnascha Shūrascha Yascha Senam Prakarshati. Any warrior can challenge. Satkulina, not only somebody who is born in a high family, but also a fighter. A fighter can challenge. Shūrascha Yascha Senam Prakarshati, and also a person who can lead an army. And you cannot lay down the rule that only a king has to challenge another king. If you want to say that, I am instantly making him the king of a particular province in my own kingdom. In the same big empire, there is a province for which I am making him a king, Anga Rajya. So there is a particular place, Anga, Vanga, Kalinga, Kashmir, we say. Anga is somewhere near Bihar, I guess so. I didn't check up. Anga could be somewhere near that. Vanga is Bengal, Anga is somewhere near that. So anyway, he says, I am making him a king. So immediately, you see the initiative of that Duryodhana. Duryodhana, he didn't ask his father, he didn't ask anybody, he didn't take anybody's permission. He immediately summoned some Brahmins who were able to recite some mantras. He immediately asked for some golden throne, because the king has to have a golden throne and a golden crown. So he immediately got a crown and then got some waters, and then all those sacred waters, they have to be sprinkled on his head while chanting certain mantras. So while chanting the mantras, what do they say? They invoke the strength of Indra, they invoke the strength of Yama, they invoke the strength of Varuna, etc., etc. So all those things are done at the time of making a person a king. That is a coronation. At the time of coronation, a person has to, it is a sort of, what can we say, ritual in which he is told, yes, you are the representative of Indra, you are the representative of Yama, you are the representative of Varuna. So like that, all those, the amsha of all those gods are invoked into that particular person. So he got all that thing performed there itself. Kanchane pithe mantravidbhir maharatha. Mantravidbhi, he summoned all those people who knew all these mantras, and then he abhishiktaha angarajye saha. So he was made the king of that Angarajya. Now he said, yes, now he is a king, let him fight. So by that time it so happened that it became, right now, what happens? Now seeing all this, Karna's father, who was among the audience, so that man's name is Atiratha. His name is Atiratha. Atiratha also means a great fighter. Here, of course, Atiratha does not mean that. His name is Atiratha. Atiratha, Maharatha, they are categories of fighters. But here only his name is Atiratha. So he is basically a charioteer. So he came in all his natural, general, dirty, not very great clothes, very ordinary clothes. He just came, and then he came rushing. He was so happy that his son was made the king. So Karna also, with all the ceremonial waters on his head, he immediately got up, kept his bow aside, and then he touched the feet of that charioteer. Then it was known to everybody that he was the son of that charioteer. And immediately all the people, they started not all the people, Bhima particularly. Bhima starts ridiculing him. Tam drushtva sutaputroyam iti sanchintya pandava. Oh, you are a sutaputra. Natvam arhasi parthena sutaputra rane vadham. So Bhima says in a very ridiculing manner, oh, you son of a charioteer, you don't deserve to be killed by Arjuna. He says, he does not say you don't deserve to fight. He says you don't even deserve to be killed by Arjuna. You just get lost. Hold some whip in your hand and drive chariot. You better go and drive a chariot. So Bhima is capable of such ridicule now and then. So he does that. And Karna, he could not say anything. And meanwhile, Duryodhana intervenes. Duryodhana here in this passage, Duryodhana very radically intervenes, and he tells about the lineage of all the great people. You see how Vishwamitra, he became how Vishwamitra, though he was a Brahmana, though he was a Kshatriya, he did tapas and then he became a Brahmana. And how these people like Drona, etc., what is the origin of Drona? What is the origin of Krupacharya? And after all, what is your origin? You are also born to so many gods. You are also born to so many gods. It is now you are not born to Panduraja. And then like that, you see this Karna, and you see his body shape, and you see the natural body armor, and you see the Kavacha Kundala. And do you think that he is born to this particular charioteer? So he says, Katham Aditya Sadrusham Rugi Vyaghram Janishyati. And he challenges, how can a deer give birth to a tiger? So this man is like a tiger. And the wife of that Suta, that charioteer, she is comparable to a deer. How can a deer give birth to a tiger? You see this person. And he is not only an ordinary king, he deserves to be the king of this whole world, he says. Pruthivi Rajyam Arhoyam na Angarajyam Nareshwaraha. Not merely deserves this Angarajya, the small stupid Angarajya. What to talk of this Angarajya? He is fit to rule the entire world. Then Anena Bahuviryena Mayacha Agnanavartina. I am his follower, he says. I am actually his follower. You see how Duryodhana is able to win over people. He almost surrenders and then makes a very great friend. And then Karna is so obliged, he is so grateful. Anybody would be so grateful, because Karna is a man who is also craving for recognition. He is a great fighter, no doubt, he is a great fighter. Unfortunately, he is very jealous. Unfortunately, he is very angry, he is very jealous of Arjuna. And probably had Karna not been there, probably Kurukshetra war would not have been there. That is what Bhishma says at some later point in Bhishma Parva. Bhishma would say later, it is only because of you that this whole thing has come, this whole war has taken place. You also imagine, you visualize, suppose Karna is not there. If Karna were not to be there, there is nobody on the side of this Duryodhana who would fight Arjuna, because Bhishma would not fight and kill Arjuna. Drona and Kripacharya, they would not fight and kill Arjuna. They would be neutral, totally neutral. Even during the war, they say in the very beginning that we are not going to kill Pandavas. We will kill, we will fight for you, we will lay down our lives. We will lay down our lives, but we are not going to kill, we are not going to kill the Pandavas. We cannot. So that is what they say. In the beginning itself, they make it they make a very clear point, and then we are prepared to lay down. So that is what they say. Now, meanwhile, when he became Karna becomes the king, then naturally all is set for a fight. But right at that time, it so happens that the sunset was taking place, because the demonstration had gone all along the day, and then by the time all this coronation and all these things took place, it was evening, and the sun set, and all the people, they had to withdraw. So that is what has happened. Kuntyascha pratyabhignaya divya lakshana suchitam. Kunti was also delighted, because after all, her son, he became the king. So then again, what is the take-home message for different people? Kunti became happy, though initially she was so scared and she fell unconscious. And Duryodhana got a great ally. Duryodhana got a very great friend. And Dharmaraja also instantly recognized that this Karna is a very great fighter. He says, Yudhishthirasya pyabhavat tadamatihi. Na Karna tulyosti dhanurdharashchitau. There is none. The Karna is an unequaled fighter. He says, he is somebody who is unequaled in archery. So that is what he feels. So people also got divided into almost two groups. Somebody cheering Karna, somebody cheering Arjuna. So it was looking as though the battle lines were getting crystallized at the time of this particular demonstration. So we just saw how this great episode of demonstration, it ended. Duryodhana has got a very great bosom friend. And now Duryodhana, you see, Vyasa writes, Bhayam Arjuna Sanjatam Kshipramantaradhiyata. Immediately, on seeing this Karna's skills, what all fears this Duryodhana had about Arjuna, all those fears, they instantly vanished. Kshipram, instantly. Antaradhiyata, they just vanished. So then, after that, what happens? So, okay, after that, all these boys are there, and now the training is over. After the training is over, then they have to give what is called Guru Dakshina. Guru Dakshina is something which in olden days it was our culture. It is not as though they were paying some fee regularly and then they were studying. Probably that system also could have been there. But here we see what is called Guru Dakshina. Quite often there is a thing called Guru Dakshina. A student goes to the teacher, he stays in the teacher's house, and then he learns Veda, whatever it is. And then at the end of the training, it is something like a post-paid service. At the end of it, so he will ask the teacher, what should I give to you? The teacher may say, whatever you are capable of giving, you give. And sometimes we see some stories where the teacher also spells out, I want this, can you get it? So, okay, they will try to get it. So, like that, dakshina, that is called dakshina. Dakshina is not exactly a fee. You see, dakshina is also, it is a term which is used during yajnas. Suppose you are inviting somebody for performing a yajna. And a person who is performing yajna, he has to come to you with all the sense of devotion, and he should be a person who is a very highly disciplined man, a person who knows all the Veda, if not all the Vedas, at least what he is supposed to do. And he is supposed to have practiced those mantras, and he is supposed to have got some authority over the mantras. A person who chants the mantras, not as though he just reads out mantras, he is supposed to have some authority over those mantras, and then he should also have that power to invoke the powers of gods, whatever that mantra is saying. So it is a question of the capability of that person. So that cannot be assessed in terms of money. A person who is coming to our house and chanting, performing a puja and all that, if he is a highly competent person, it is not easily possible to evaluate in terms of money. If he is some ordinary man who is coming and reading out some mantras, etc., okay, you can give him some money and then send him away. But if he is a really competent man, it is difficult to evaluate. It is very difficult to assess. So that is the reason why it is called dakshina. Dakshina is you give something with all, when you are pleased with his performance, and then you give whatever you are capable of. And then he is happy with that, because there cannot be any monetary evaluation. So that is the reason why it is called dakshina and not a fee. Fee is something where it is evaluated. Okay, you have completed this syllabus, okay, take this. But here it is a question of mantra shakti, that the person who is coming to our house or performing that yajna, he should also have that mantra shakti. So that is the reason why there cannot be any fixed amount. So anyway, here Guruvartham dakshina kale prapto manyata vai guruhu. Then that was the right time of Guru Dakshina has come. Now he summoned all these shikshyas. Shishya means disciples. Then he said, yes, I had told you in the very beginning, I just want to teach a lesson to Drupada. You go and capture that Drupada and bring to me. He is not saying, okay, beat him up, kill or anything like that. You just capture that Drupada and bring him to me. Now immediately all the people, they jump up. Initially all the people like Duryodhanascha, Karnascha, Yuyutsuscha, Mahabharatam, Dushyasano, Vikarnascha, all these people, Duryodhana, Karna. Karna also is there, because Karna also happens to be a student of Drona. Then there is another man, Yuyutsu, Dushyasana, all these people, they just jump up and aham purvam, aham purvam. Aham purvam, aham purvam is me first, me first. So just going ahead. So they just went. And when they went and they attacked this Drupada, he is a king of what is a kingdom called Panchala Desha. So that is why Draupadi is also called Panchali. Panchala Desha, she is called Panchali. Panchali is the daughter of the Panchala king. So then this Drupada was also a great warrior, was also a very great fighter. Because he was a classmate of this Dronacharya, he learned from the same teacher. So he was also a great fighter. So he gave hell to all these people. So Duryodhanu, Vikarnascha, all these people, Duryodhanam, Vikarnamcha, Karnancha, Mahabhalam, Alata Chakravat Sarvam, Sharan, Banaira Tarpayat. He says, Drupada was almost like an Alata Chakram. He was just wheeling around his bow, and then he was just wheeling around and he was hitting all the people. And not only that, his associates, the Drupada's associates were also very strong people. They came, and then all the citizens of that Panchala, they just fell on these boys. And then these people, they took to their heels. Duryodhana, Karna, Vikarna, and all these people, Duryodhana, Dushyasana, and all these people, they retreated. And meanwhile, Arjuna, right from the beginning, he said, okay, let these people go first. These people cannot defeat Drupada. After these people, they finish, then I will go. So these people, naturally, they retreated. Duryodhana, Karna, all these people, when they retreated, then Arjuna, along with Bhima and Nakula and Sahadeva, they asked Dharmaraja to stay back. Yudhishtiram Nivarya Ashu. Yudhishthira, they said, okay, you please, oh brother, you elder brother, you be here, we will go. And then Arjuna, Bhima ran ahead. Bhima with a huge mace runs ahead, and then he keeps on hitting all the elephants. With one hit, an elephant dies. So like that, Bhima goes on killing the elephants and whoever are there on dropping people down. And meanwhile, Arjuna also tells them, don't kill anybody, don't kill people, because these people, they went and started killing. So he tells, no, don't kill, because Drupada is actually a relative of our Kauravas. Drupada is a relative of our Kauravas. You just capture him. Our duty is to capture him only. So this they go, and then there is a one-to-one fight between Drupada and Arjuna. And Arjuna, in that one-to-one fight, he defeats. And of course, you see the description. If you see the description of that fight, it is very thrilling. One man shoots an arrow and then breaks the bow, and immediately he takes another bow, and then this man also shoots another arrow. So like that, it goes on. And by the time this Drupada could take another bow, immediately this Arjuna pounced on him, and then he just pressed him down, took out his sword, and then just kept him down. So Drupada, when Drupada was captured, his followers, they ran away, helter-skelter. And all the other people, then Arjuna, he tells Bhima, Arjuna tells Bhima, Sambandhi Kuru Viranam Drupado Rajasattamaha. He is our Sambandhi. He actually, probably there is some earlier relationship also. Mavadhis Tadbalam Bhima. Oh Bhima, don't kill his army. So Bhima, you see, Bhima sometimes is a rash man. And he is quite, we will see in Mahabharata that either Dharmaraja or Arjuna, they restrain Bhima. And Bhima, you see, Bhima, though he is the elder brother of Arjuna, he is older to Arjuna, we know, even then he listens to Arjuna. Quite often he listens to Arjuna, okay, fine. He is a good team member. That way we see that Bhima is a very good team member. Quite often we see a senior man doesn't listen to a junior man. So here we see Bhima, in fact, he listens to him, listens to Bhima, sometimes to Nakula also, Arjuna, sometimes to Nakula also. So in fact, Vyasa is going to describe Bhratrunam Acharadvashe, Parakramena Sampannaha Bhratrunam Acharadvashe. So he was a good team man listening to his brothers. So here, when Bhima was about to kill so many people, Arjuna restrains. No, our task is only to defeat Drupada and bring him. So they bring that Drupada. When they bring Drupada to Drona, then Drona, okay, oh my dear sir, you recognize me as your old friend. We played Ashrame Kriditam Yattu Tvaya Balye Maya Saha. In our childhood, in that ashrama, we were just playing, and then you were promising so many things. You said you are going to give your kingdom and whatnot. You had not given anything. But now, okay, I want to take a portion of your kingdom. So Drona also is a good negotiator. He says, I am not going to harm you because Ma bhai pranabhayad vira shamino brahmana vayam. I am a brahmana. I don't want to hurt you, he says. I am forgiving. I am basically forgiving in nature, but I just wanted to teach a lesson to you. I want to take a portion of your kingdom. I am taking this portion of the kingdom, he says. And after taking this also, you tell me whether you want to be my friend or not. I want you to be my friend, he says. So, okay, I am your friend. Anashcharyamidam Brahman Vikranteshu Mahatmasu. Okay, I am not surprised, my dear Brahmin. As a Brahmin, you have behaved well. And okay, I will continue to be your friend. So then, okay, a portion of that kingdom was taken by Dronacharya. He says there is a particular place called Ahicchatrapuri, Janapadayuta, a town called Ahicchatrapuri. We do not know what that town is now. Yudhi Nirjitya Parthena Dronaya Pratipadita. That particular small portion of the kingdom, Drona, he started ruling. It is not as though he became a ruler and all that. He became the controller of that area, let us think so. It is not as though he got coronated and all that. He continued to be with Bhishma and Dhrutarastra, because that is how we see that Drona, though he was having some small portion of the kingdom, he continued to be in the court of Dhrutarastra. So that is what we are going to see. Now, after some time, what happens? Now all the training is over. They have finished their Vedic studies, and then they have finished their martial arts and whatnot. Then Duryodhana, this Yudhishthira, that is Dharmaraja, is the eldest among all. Moreover, the kingdom belonged to Panduraja. We are going to see this discussion later. We are going to see this discussion that Dhrutarashtra himself says, I myself did not have the right for the kingdom because I am born blind. A blind person cannot be the king. And Panduraja naturally became the king. And in fact, he didn't want he was not much interested. So because he died, I suddenly became the king. So we are not entitled for the kingdom, he says. So naturally, Dharmaraja was having the title for the kingdom, and Dharmaraja was made the prince, what is called Yuvaraja. Yuvaraja means what we call prince regent. After some time, he is going to be the king. So that way, Yudhishthira was installed as Yuvaraja. And Yudhishthira was also the older. He was older. He was older than this Duryodhana. So Yudhishthira, when he was installed as Yuvaraja, naturally this Bhishma, Bhima, Arjuna, and all these people, they were also happy. And now Vyasa describes how Arjuna acquired some more astras from Drona. Dronacharya gave some more astras, and he also made he also asked this Arjuna to make a promise to him. So he called Arjuna, and then you give me a special dakshina. You see, this is an interesting passage. You give me special dakshina. Dakshina means, again, I described you that word dakshina. That is something which you offer to the Guru. Then he said, oh yes, I am promising you. Then what is the dakshina? Drona is asking. Drona is saying, Yuddheham pratiyodhavyah yudhyamanastvayanaga. Oh my dear Arjuna, a time may come when I may have to fight with you. Then you should not say, I will not fight with you. You have to fight with me. So that is the dakshina. See, a wonderful thing. It is something which is surprising. When Arjuna said, yes, I am going to give you, then Drona says, a time may come when I have to fight with you. Then you cannot say, I don't fight. You have to fight with me. Then Arjuna said, yes, okay, I will fight. Throughout in Mahabharata we see that if a situation comes, a guru will fight with his student, a student will fight with his guru, a son will fight with his father. A situation comes, situation in the sense for the sake of dharma, not for the sake of any other thing, not for selfishness. For the sake of dharma, if a situation comes, you have to fight means you have to fight. That is in fact quite often the characters here, they say, oh, what a very difficult dharma is a Kshatriya dharma. Dik dharma Kshatriya, dik Kshatriya dharma, they say. That is, what a difficult thing it is. You have to fight with your own people, with your own relatives. You have to kill your own people. What a terrible thing it is to be a Kshatriya. Quite often it is so. So that is what, if you are going to fight some enemy, it is okay. But you have to kill your own people, you have to fight your own people for the sake of dharma. So anyway, after that, then Arjuna and Bhima and all these people, they just go around, they expand their empire. Now this Hastinapura must have been some small kingdom. So these people, they go and then they defeat various other kings. And Pararashtrani Nirjitya, Swarashtram Vavrudhupura, they defeated lot many kings, and then they expanded their empire, and then they brought also a lot of money they got to the kingdom. So that is what has happened. Then after some time, not after a long time, immediately after that, the Dhrutarastra was seeing that these Pandavas were getting established very well. And this Dharmaraja was so well respected by people. Dharmaraja, he was number one, he was a highly learned man. He was a highly learned man. We know that Dharmaraja is the son of the very god of justice. Dharma's son, the very god of justice. So he knew all the Dharma Shastras. He was so judicious in his rule. And all the people, they were liking him. And this man, he was actually seething in jealousy. This Dhrutarashtra was actually having so much of jealousy, he could not control his jealousy. So he called a minister. He called a minister called Kanika. And he said, oh my dear, he just poured out his heart to him. He confessed to him, yes, I am really jealous. You tell me what I have to do now. So we see that passage called Kanika Niti tomorrow. Harihi Om Tat Sat.